Happy Jane Austen July. In today's reading vlog, I'm going to be reading Sense and Sensibility. I am a mom of 3, so this is going to be a very realistic summer day in the life trying to read with 3 kiddos. Once the kids start to wake up, the day officially begins, and I will start by resetting our homeschool space, updating our date on the chalkboard, and then putting up our homeschool daily rhythm cards over on the whiteboard. These I just made myself on Canva, had them printed and laminated at my local UPS store, and used a Velcro strip that works kind of like a command strip in order to put them up. I did also put these in a blog post for free over on my website, and I will leave a link below if you're interested. Hello friends, and happy Jane Austen July. My name is Haley. I am a Christian wife, homeschool mama of 3, and redeemer of my very own literary education. And for this year, my female author of the year is Jane Austen. And I'm participating in Jane Austen July. And the read for Jane Austen July is Sense and Sensibility. This is my first time reading Sense and Sensibility. I didn't know a single thing going into it. This penguin cloth bound edition is broken up into 3 different volumes. I am at the start of volume 3, so I've made it a little over 2/3 of the way in, and I love it so far. I think this is in fact going to be one of my favorites. I kind of speculated that on my Jane Austen July TBR video. And Sense and Sensibility is about 2 sisters, Eleanor and Marianne. Eleanor is the sister of sense and prudence and put-togetherness, and Marianne is the sister of sensibility and great feeling and emotion and affection. However, at the same time, she's not afraid to say what is true, so it's not that her character isn't necessarily virtuous. She is just a lot more prone to let emotions lead the way. And their different personalities kind of get them in different situations romantically. So their situation in life, their half-brother inherits everything from their father and their uncle. Their father's dying wish is that their half-brother would care for them and their mother. And he meant with money. You know, please give your sister some of the money to help take care of them. And their brother's wife, Mrs. Dashwood, basically convinces her husband, no, he couldn't have meant with money, just, you know, help them get settled. We're not going to give them a thing. So that kind of puts their station in life a little bit lower than what is ideal. It's meant for them to kind of live very frugally, but one of their mother's relations offers them a cottage to move into. And so the sisters leave their half-brother and sister-in-law in order to move off to the cottage with Sir John and Lady Middleton near their estate. And this couple is quite the interesting romantic dynamic. Sir John is incredibly friendly, always wants to surround himself with people, just incredibly good-natured, almost to a fault. It's almost a bit too much. And his wife, Lady Middleton, is prim and proper and really has no other personality beyond her children. Which, speaking of, one of mine needs me right now. So this vlog is already getting off to a start where I need to take a break for my kids. I brought my baby out on the front porch to see if being outside would put him in better spirits for this video. But as I was saying, Sir John and Lady Middleton have a very interesting marriage dynamic. Lady Middleton is prim and proper, a very put together lady. However, she has no personality beyond her children, which as a mother of 3 is actually hilarious. I marked this passage within the first volume, and if you're a mother or if you have friends who have children, you will relate to this passage. This is Eleanor and Marianne. They're sitting with Lady Middleton, trying to find something to talk about. Conversation, however, was not wanted, for Sir John was very chatty, and Lady Middleton had taken the wise precaution of bringing with her their eldest child, a fine little boy about 6 years old, by which means there was one subject always to be recurred to by the ladies in case of extremity, for they had to inquire his name and age, admire his beauty, and ask him questions which his mother answered for him, while he hung about her and held down his head, to the great surprise of her ladyship, who wondered at his being so shy before company, as he could make noise enough at home. On every formal visit a child ought to be of the party, by way of provision for discourse. In the present case, it took up 10 minutes to determine whether the boy were most like his father or mother, and in what particular he resembled either, for of course everybody differed, and everybody was astonished at each other's opinion. This is so true, and my husband and I do this a lot with our children when we're out places with other people. We kind of use them as a distraction or a conversation starter when things feel awkward. And I thought that was hilarious. Now, unlike Lady Middleton, I hope that I have somewhat of a personality, but she pretty much decides whether she likes someone or not based off of how much they dote on her children and how much attention they give her children. Which is kind of funny. In Jane Austen's books so far, the children are often described as really rowdy and rambunctious, which, if the start of this reading vlog says anything, it says that that is true. But anyway, Eleanor and Marianne, on going to Sir John and Lady Middleton's, meet Colonel Brandon, who is of their acquaintance. He is sort of a reserved, more put together person, and he instantly falls for Marianne, the character with a lot of sensibility. And you would think he would fall for Eleanor because their personalities are a little more similar, but I think he's a bit of a romantic on the inside, and so he falls for Marianne, but she will have nothing to do with him because he is just too boring for her. She needs a man who matches her sensibilities in every single way, who is full of the same emotions and opinions as herself. And enters Mr. Willoughby, who is such a man, and Marianne, of course, falls head over heels for him. Now, meanwhile, in her sister's life, back when they were living with her brother, Mr. and Mrs. John Dashwood, she actually fell for her sister-in-law's brother, who, unlike his sister, who is very cold-hearted, cruel, selfish, kind of also like Lady Middleton, only cares about her son, he is put together and kind and just everything good and simple, and Eleanor falls for him, but then they're separated, and essentially she's not good enough for her sister-in-law's brother, Mr. Edward Ferrars, and so she's trying to separate them. I don't know how Sense and Sensibility ends. I've never read the book, I haven't heard any spoilers, and I haven't watched a movie, so I don't know how these wrap up, but pretty much from the beginning, Marianne was so determined to not like Colonel Brandon that I'm almost convinced that by the end of the book she will, just because of her determination not to. and I was convinced at the time that her falling for someone with just as much emotion and sensibility as herself could not end well. And I may have been correct. Now with Eleanor, I don't know how this is going to go, because while Colonel Brandon and Mr. Willoughby were kind of rivals over Marianne, Eleanor has her own rival for Mr. Edward Ferrars that just kind of popped up out of nowhere. So we'll see. That's where I'm at. I am at the start of Volume 3 in the Sense and Sensibility Penguin Cloth-bound edition. I'm on page 243, and there are 353 pages. So I have about 110 pages left to go in Sense and Sensibility. And we'll see how much I actually get through in one day. Reading all of Jane Austen's main 6 novels for the very first time this year, and they've really inspired me to take more walks outside along our property and see what improvements we could make. I would love nothing more than to surround this pond with as many flowers as possible. No housekeeping hour is complete without a really good audiobook, and I am currently listening to Jane Austen at Home by Lucy Worsley. It is a fantastic biography about Jane Austen and the home that she grew up in, the family that she lived with, and the people who inspired her stories. And reading through this book, I have learned so much of Jane Austen's own life experience, and the things that happened within her family and to her really influenced some of the storylines we see develop in her main 6 novels. So if you are looking for a Jane Austen biography to read through, I cannot recommend this one enough. I'm currently about halfway through it so far, and I'm hoping to finish it by the end of July for Jane Austen July. This was my prompt for a nonfiction work about Jane Austen, and I love it. All the reviews about it were so great, and I concur. And so if you're looking for a biography, I can't recommend this one enough. because I'm nearing the end of Sense and Sensibility, and things are nowhere near resolved. Marianne has yet to show any other interest in another man besides the one that just broke her heart. Where are you, Colonel Brandon? I'm still hoping. I'm still holding out hope for them. But Eleanor's love interest is marrying another woman at this point, and it just continues to get more and more confirmed. I keep hoping that it's not what it appears and he's gonna show up on the scene with a letter and tell her it's all okay, but as of right now, no, he's marrying this other woman. It just looks so sad, and I'm nervous. I trust Jane Austen. So far she's given a happy ending to all of her characters that deserve it, and they deserve it. But we'll see how it goes. It's a beautiful day. The kids are playing great outside. We haven't had this nice of weather in a while. It's been so hot, but it's like in the 70s today. So we're staying outside as long as possible, and we're reading, and we're doing our thing. So far, so good. So hopefully I can finish this today, and I really want to, because my heart's kind of breaking for Marianne and Eleanor right now. So stay tuned. One day a week, my husband spends a daddy day with the kiddos. During the afternoon, he will give me some time to go do something fun or go run some errands, just have a little bit of time to myself while he has some quality time with the kids. And today I went to my favorite local used bookshop. I love this place. It is a little hidden gem, and it's one of those places where it's not perfectly organized, but if you're willing to sift through and do the work, you can find some treasures, specifically some antique and vintage treasures. I walked out of here today with a 6-set works of George Eliot. They're blue, they're vintage, they're illustrated, they're gorgeous, and I paid $20 for them, which is a steal. So I think Jane Austen would be very happy with the way I've spent my time, and I can only imagine visiting this shop with Marianne specifically. She would have all sorts of opinions on the books that I should buy, and Eleanor. We are nearing the end of the day. Whenever I got home from the bookstore, my husband put out this garden bench at the back of our pond, and it is such a beautiful and peaceful spot to read a book. I have about 25 more pages left to go in Sense and Sensibility, so as is very true to life with children, I did not finish this book today, but I came very close and knocked quite a bit out, and I'm excited to share my thoughts in my Jane Austen July reading wrap-up, and I will see you then. Happy reading and happy Jane Austen July.